You're filling your jar way up.
All right. Who knows? Maybe I'll give it a go next year.
Yes, you should.
All right. Well, weather-wise, you're right. Beautiful day yesterday, beautiful day today. We're off to a pretty quiet start with very comfortable temperatures. We could continue to cool a few more degrees before temperatures start to rise after the sun comes up in about an hour from now, and we will warm quickly with relatively dry air in place. Good morning to you in Conroe, waking up at 44, 46 if you're waking up in Liberty. On the west side of town, we've also got some 40s from Belleville all the way down around to Bay City and Angleton. Once you get outside of the city, away from that urban heat island effect, temperatures do tend to cool a little bit more effectively. Notice in and around the city we're 50 plus, and along the coastline we've got readings in the 60s. We do have skies starting to brighten way off in the distance. They are mostly clear, but a couple of clouds, and that might be the case from time to time today as we start to get our humidity values rising. We're not going to see that in way of rain by any way, but we are seeing some patchy fog at the surface, and as mentioned, a couple clouds maybe up in the sky later on this afternoon. 53, that's a decrease of 2 degrees since we started our newscast, and we've got very light winds out of the north. Again, that clear skies, calm winds combo does allow temperatures to drop pretty effectively, so we are still waking up relatively cool. It's actually a couple degrees above average for this time of year, though. Our low is around 52. All right, here's that fog I was mentioning. It is mostly on the west side of town, where we do have substantially reduced visibilities, especially in Katy, Wharton, Columbus, Bay City, Angleton, all at a quarter mile or less. That's in effect through 9 a.m. this morning, and then we should see rapid improvements. As mentioned, we'll warm to around 80 this afternoon with another sunny and relatively dry day. A mild evening if you're staying late at the rodeo, but come tomorrow, we've got some changes to discuss. Sunday brunch. I'm gonna have to take a look and see what's on the menu. All right, petting zoo opens at 9. That's when our dense fog advisory expires too. That's really only affecting you if you're heading in from the west side of town, but we do have visibilities reduced to 1 mile or less. So definitely take it slow, give yourself extra time, and plan on this to be on repeat as we make our way through the week. So we're gonna have kind of those misty, foggy mornings and then warm and humid afternoons, making our way back into the mid 80s. This is really our last very pleasant and relatively dry day where daytime highs will peak around 80 today, so enjoy it. We'll be stuck in that humid pattern until a late week cold front, which does look to bring us a cool down as we make our way through the first weekend of spring break. But for now, we're going to see this warm front lifting north, reintroducing that southerly flow and all that humidity off the Gulf of Mexico, and that's what puts us into that pattern for the first few days this week. So notice forecast temperatures on the thermometer, very warm. We're talking about 10 to 12 degrees, maybe even more above average. Our average high this time of year is 72. We'll see clouds for the most part in the morning. We'll see some decrease in those in the afternoon, so call it partly cloudy and a slim shot at a rain shower or two, but they will be quick in passing. Comparing those to records both at Bush Intercontinental and at Hobby, there are a couple of days where maybe we're going to come pretty close, and that includes Monday at Hobby. If we hit that forecast high of 85, then we would of course tie that record. We might miss it by a degree or two at Bush Intercontinental. I think Tuesday's probably a swing and a miss, and we'll see once we get to Wednesday or Thursday. If we trend a couple degrees warmer, then it's certainly a possibility. Futurecast is going to look pretty similar every day. We could just probably loop this through each day, so I'm just going to kind of give you an idea. Overnight tonight, we'll see an increase in cloud cover, and that sets the scene for, again, a misty, kind of foggy morning with a lot of low-level clouds. Give yourself some extra time to navigate on those roadways for your morning commute. As we make our way through the day, we'll see kind of these light, isolated showers. Maybe you get clipped by a drop or two. I think most of us stay dry. And in the afternoon, a little bit of a decrease in cloud cover, so that'll allow us to warm with good sunshine into the 80s. Overnight, that cloud cover increases again, and hopefully this won't block our view of our full moon, which is going to peak on Tuesday morning, officially at about 6:40 a.m. These always look full the night before and the night after. It's like 99.8%, so you wouldn't be able to tell that it's not full anyways. But it's the worm moon, all those earthworms coming out of the soil as it warms up. It happens around the change of seasons, which of course we're about to switch to spring, so another name for it is the Lenten moon, which means spring in German. It's going to feel like spring the first few days this week. Absolutely. We get towards the tail end of the week, and ironically, as we head into spring break, we got a cool down on the horizon.
First time
ever seeing that.
I like to do a little like diagonal action.
Okay. Yeah, you know, split the difference.
Yeah.
I will be interested to see which one of my colleagues posted that, though.
Yes.
And maybe
his name is Ryan Vaughn.
Oh, I know Ryan.
You know Ryan?
I know Ryan.
Well, he's very popular now. He's gotten...
He's been popular. He's been around for a while. Everybody in the business knows Ryan, but I will say, I can understand that from a COVID perspective, right? Because you're creating a little bit more,
yes.
you know?
Even the groceries need social
Yes,
distancing.
exactly. So
sometimes.
maybe that was it. I don't know.
All right. Also trending this.
Faux raspberry rally.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
I don't even know if that one's vegan, so I don't know if I can even try it, but I'm definitely not paying $180. I'd rather spend $180 on a loot, like a stash
What is
for the year.
vegan cookie?
The Thin Mints are, yes, I bought them from Sally last year from her daughters. The Thin Mints are, there's a couple of different ones. It depends on, there's different bakers, so you have to look and see which baker is selling the box. So.
All right. Hey, we got to take a quick
up over the horizon. You can also kind of see like a little bit of, misty conditions or moisture pooling at the surface. So we do have some patchy fog in some spots, but no visibility concerns in and around the city. We've had a temperature kind of flatlined at 53, so it looks like we're pretty close to our morning lows. Light breeze out of the north at Hobby, but in many places our winds have gone calm. And when you pair the clear skies and the calm winds, temperatures tend to cool pretty rapidly. You get close to the dew points and you start to get some patchy fog developing. So that's what we're seeing mostly on the west side of town, where there is a dense fog advisory in effect. All these counties you see shaded in gray. That'll expire at 9 a.m. So it could be slow goings for another few hours or so. Katie reporting 0-mile visibility from Conroe all the way around to Brenham, Columbus, Wharton, Angleton. Quarter-mile visibility. That's that threshold for that dense fog advisory. And if you are going eastbound on I-10, looks like you're going to run into some of that in and around the Beaumont area or just before that. Temperatures on the thermometer continuing to get a boost over the same time yesterday, a couple degrees warmer, and that puts most of us in the 50s as we start out our day. But we've got a couple of outlying spots in the 40s, so still relatively cool and pleasant. For your podcast today, we've got a miniature horse with shoes on, but that's probably the first time you've seen that. This is Valentina, a therapy horse who no doubt is going to enjoy this beautiful weather today. She likes to make her rounds to nursing homes and schools, and those shoes are Build-A-Bear shoes. They help her not to slip around on the floor, Sally.
I love that the owner thought, hey, you know what kind of shoes will be great for her? Build-A-Bear shoes. And they worked.
They did work. And she's also got a cute little bow on her tail. So she's just dressed to the nines.
Aw, very nice. Thank you, Lena. Appreciate it. We'll check back. A gorgeous weekend. Just a little bit of like too much pollen in the air. But other than that, it's perfect.
Yeah, I noticed that on Friday, Sally, when I was live at the rodeo, especially with that wind, it was blowing it all around.
Yeah.
I did wash my car yesterday, so it's no longer the same color as my dress, which is good news.
You'll have to watch.
I was going to say probably won't last, but this will. Dense fog advisories, you can plan to see these pretty much every morning until we get a front at the end of the week that'll finally clear the air. We got this in effect for our western counties through 9 a.m. I would expect them to become more widespread as we make our way through the week. We start to see really those muggy mornings in the upper 60s to near 70. We do still have a fantastic day on the way, though, performing today the Zach Brown Band. And, of course, temperatures will be on the warm side of things, around 80, but still relatively dry air in place. We got the carnival also open from 10 a.m. to midnight. So if you're going to be staying on the later side of things, temperatures will eventually fall back into the 60s, still under mostly clear skies. But this warm front's going to continue to lift, and that'll increase our cloud cover in the overnight hours. It's also going to be returning our flow from south. So we'll get that warmth and moisture coming in off the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to set the scene for several warm and humid days at the start of the week. Temperature-wise, we'll be back in the middle 80s. Slim rain chances, but we'll have enough moisture and instability out there to maybe trigger, a light and spotty shower. Otherwise, we're going to be warm, humid, and breezy as we make our way through the week. And we're going to see clouds in the overnight hours, and then they'll decrease throughout the day and kind of back and forth throughout that pattern. Staying humid until the end of the week. Around Friday is when our next front is scheduled to arrive, and that should bring in some cooler and drier air as we head into the first weekend of spring break. Until then, though, what you see on Futurecast for the next 24 hours is pretty much what you're going to get throughout the course of the week. So I mentioned that cloud cover increases in the overnight hours as that warm front lifts north. Plan for misty and kind of foggy starts each day. And then as we head throughout the course of the day, we'll see those hit or miss, very light and spotty showers, more so really a sprinkle if anything. But we will see decreases in the cloud cover as some of that evaporates out in the middle of the day. Then in the overnight hours, here come the clouds again, rinse and repeat pretty much each day this week. Hopefully we'll have enough breaks in the clouds to get a good view of our March full moon, which peaks on Tuesday. It's going to look full on Monday. It's also going to look full on Wednesday. It is called the worm moon. All the soil is heating up, and the worms tend to come out of the soil this time of year. So it happens around the change of seasons, which the spring equinox is in a couple of weeks from now. It also is known as the Lenten moon, which means spring in German. So we are getting closer to kind of that change. In fact, next Sunday is when we change the clocks. All right, patchy fog or mist in the mornings, warm, humid, breezy afternoons in the middle 80s, near record highs each day until that front swings through on Friday. That'll increase our rain chances and bring a decrease in temperatures, at least as we head into the start of the weekend.